All right, here's why you keep stripping out those stupid side terminals on your battery. Because if you look at this thing, it's not a real thread. It's some kind of like cheap insert, stupid design. I thought I was smart, but I wasn't. I want to teach you all something so you don't make the same mistakes I did. So what I was going to do is I was going to turn myself this brass stud, because I had like a lot of accessories that I was running on the side of my battery. And whenever you'd buy those parts at the parts stores that would thread in here that had that, long stud, so you could slip ring terminals on here to add accessories to your car's electrical system, they kept like stripping it real easily inside of the side terminal of this battery. And I think the reason why is because when they made that fastener, they have a true thread here, and the threads that go in here on your car that are like original equipment, they're heavily zinc plated, so the thread form is kind of it's like the threads are fatter and the features aren't as well defined, and that maybe it would explain this goofy geometry that they have on these threads on these side terminals. Anyways, sorry. The lesson learned is I wanted to make this 425 thousandths in diameter before I started putting threads in here. I wanted the major diameter of my threaded stud to be oversized by 50 thou. So this is like a 3/8 bolt, 16 threads per inch. It's either like a 3/8 or an M10. I don't know what the heck it is, but anyways, I was trying to make it 50 thousandths oversized in the major diameter, and what ended up happening was as I approached good thread form, my 425 thousandths stock that I started with ended up turning out to be about 400 thousandths. It makes sense if you think about it. But don't plan on making this thing too oversized because it can't physically be achieved. And then before you cut this off from whatever you're holding in the chuck on the lathe, you got to take a nut and you got to thread it on by hand, because you got to kind of change the thread form on this thing, so that you're not, if you don't change the thread form by hand with that nut while it's still attached to the stock that you're turning before you cut it off, you have to either hold this thing somehow without damaging the threads, or you got to thread it into the battery, and then you got to spin the nut on here, and there's a lot of interference, and it's not going to go on easily. And you're going to either strip this thing or you're going to strip that thing out, trying to get the nut to conform to the threads.